oh, wow, that's impossible. Heather, you really expect me to explain all of this? I can't believe it. Actually, I'm teasing her because she was the one who was skeptical that I would put this up there. All right. So don't bother reading all that. But the thing I like about this slide is up at the top, because you go to the left and it says fixed mindset. And this is people who think they can never change. People are born with a certain amount of intelligence or visual ability or athletic ability or whatever. And that's it. That's all you get. You can't make it better. And it affects your outlook. It affects how you see the world in front of you. Then you go over to the right up at the top and it says growth mindset. When you're seeing a visual challenge, like let's say you're playing basketball and you have to guard somebody who is a 5-star recruit. That's your assignment, to guard that person, and you're a 3-star. That's a pretty big challenge. And if you're only thinking that, okay, all I can do is all I can do, you're gonna be feeling more intimidated by playing against someone who could be potentially a professional player later. Well, with the growth mindset, you can start to, embrace that challenge and really bring all of your focus to bear, and maybe do a better job of observing that person and do something to slow them down a little bit. I mean, if you can make, keep them to under 20 points when everybody else let them score over 20 points, then there you got something there. You can try to find a tendency, but part of it is, how is your mindset? So always look for challenges. When you go into challenge mode, then you're less likely to respond in fear. And the more you're in challenge mode, the better and more clarity you're going to have, and better ability to actually perform. All right, so a couple of ways to develop a growth mindset, right? Just acknowledge that you're not perfect. Just look at what went wrong. And a lot of that's visual, having awareness of that. When you see a challenge, take it as an opportunity to learn. So instead of thinking about failing, think about learning. I particularly do not like the saying, sometimes you win, sometimes you learn. And the reason I don't like it is because how do you learn to win? Because you can only learn to win by winning. When you win, you ought to also be learning, because even if you win, there's probably still something that you could learn to do better. If you observe, if you look carefully, you can learn from other people's mistakes, right? You can welcome criticism. You can try to understand visually, what does that mean? You can have a clear idea of what is your purpose. So like, for instance, you might have a role on a team that you perform a certain function on that team. And when you have that well developed, then you've got a vision for what you need to do, and you know what to look for. Next slide, please. Look for teammates doing well, right? Celebrate your teammates by looking for good things that they do. It's not always your teammate might be your competition within the team, but still you want to celebrate them, because that's going to help it all get better. And then realize that it's all about training your brain to see how to play your sport better and create new goals and new visions for what you can do. Here's a slide. I mean, if you get the slides from me, you can look at this at your own leisure, but there's some certain things that you can say to yourself that change your perspective. It's okay to take risks. So I have a funny story. So Stephanie was at the baseline and her partner Danielle was at the net, getting ready to hit a forehand volley. It's kind of an unwritten rule in tennis that you don't run in front of your partner to hit a backhand volley if your partner's about to hit a forehand volley. So Danielle's got it all lined up, but Stephanie takes off, right? And as she's running full speed to go take a backhand volley, I'm like, no, I'm thinking, no, don't do it. She goes up and she hits a backhand volley, completely takes the other team by surprise. At that point, it was 3-all in the third set. And then after that, the other team was so flabbergasted that they then lost the next 3 games, and my girls won that match because of that one crazy risk that Stephanie took. So that's a big part of it too, is when you do things that you can do, that you're capable of, that are outside of the normal, you get an advantage. Next slide.